Some of us will need most of our lives to learn a very basic lesson that should have seemed clear and important from the beginning, that the only love worth having, the only love we should ever want, is love that goes both ways. In other words, a love where another person is just as sure of us as we are of them, where another person is just as involved in the relationship as we are, a love where we never need to convince or plead, a love where we aren't left worried and upset by avoidance and unclear signals, a love where we don't have to question where they are and when they will contact us, where we aren't often awake early in the morning, writing them messages explaining what we want from them, where they never stop being completely there for us as we are there for them, and they are deeply thankful that we are in their lives, as we are thankful that they are in ours. This isn't pride or thinking we deserve too much. This isn't asking for too much. This isn't being too demanding. It's a basic rule of emotional give and take that will seem strange or unpleasant for only one reason: because we haven't yet learned what we deserve, because we have come from a very lacking background, because we were early on taught to hate ourselves. What foolishness we may accept instead of this basic and deserved treatment. How many years or decades of life we may have wasted confusing pain for love. Times when we will have kept believing that they did love us back, they were just too nervous to say so. Times when we sat calmly and quietly with them while they tried to choose whether they should be with us or with someone else, and we felt their struggle so deeply. Times when we paid for everything and they returned the kindness with half-hearted efforts and forgotten birthday gifts. We might have had a marriage where almost every evening we had to argue our point. We had to work hard to have basic things about our needs understood, that we needed their affection, that we wanted them to be more available, that they couldn't shut us out. We might have gotten involved in all kinds of so-called complex relationships, where the person seemed a little caring at first and then very much not so later on. But there is never any such thing as a truly complex relationship. They either respect us or they don't. They are either on the other end of the rope as strongly as we are, or they don't belong in our lives in any way. Let us remember, always, some basic rules that might, because so much went wrong in childhood, be the result of decades of inner growth. If they are still choosing but haven't yet, there are two other people they quite like as well. We must leave them. If they are taking forever to reply to simple messages, we must leave them. If they are showing interest elsewhere, we must leave them. If we need to explain to them why they should want to be with us, we must leave them. If they are dealing with mental issues for which we have endless understanding, but which mean they cannot be kind or available, we must leave them. If they are not extremely proud of us, we must leave them. If we have given them several good chances and they didn't listen, we must leave them. And leave them means exactly that. Make sure they are no longer in our lives, that they don't take up the smallest space in our closets or our thoughts, that there are no more reminders of them anywhere in our mind, that we have removed them like the emotional harm they are. It is a complicating factor, but no more than that. That we may be married to them, that we have already spent 5 years with them, that physical intimacy is great with them, that we find them attractive or smart. None of this means anything. None of this is love. All this might escape our notice for a sad reason, because for some of us, our childhoods will have deeply confused our emotional systems. They will have given us a feeling that to love is to long, that to love is to hope to convince a troubled person who might initially seem as sweet and reliable, that we are good enough, that we are never in the right relationship until we feel ignored, uncomfortable, and harshly judged. That the only person we really need love from is someone who isn't fully convinced by us. We can't afford such self-harm and self-neglect any longer. We need to come down firmly on our own side at last. The self-hatred has gone on long enough. Most people won't think we're wonderful. That's entirely their right. We simply need to make sure that we don't ever mistake such types for people we might love. We need to grow healthy enough to allow ourselves to find, hold on to, and accept a true partner. It isn't in any way entitled. It's not fragile. We deserve to be loved where we love. Anything less isn't romantic. It's self-neglect. It deserves to be seen for what it is, a result of a disappointment that we didn't deserve then and don't deserve now. We will have understood love when we know that the feeling is in no way about unique self-sacrifice. It's about two people who feel constantly lucky to have met, who care deeply for one another. When this finally seems clear, we'll be home.